What up, Geo? Here we are. Last section here in Unit 10, talking about spheres or a ball. We're going to find volume and surface area of both of these all in one. We're not going to spend a day on each or anything like that. Two pretty simple formulas, volume and surface area. The only thing we need to know is what is that radius. So as we're going through, make sure it is the radius and not the diameter. You plug it in, raise it to the third power, so that's a number times itself 3 times. Multiply it by 4, divide it by 3, and then multiply it by pi at the end. Surface area is 4 times radius squared, so you're going to square the radius, multiply it by 4, then multiply it by pi. All right, so pretty easy as long as they give us that information. So it says find the volume of the sphere. The sphere is 4 pi r cubed over 3. Some of us are, if we're getting caught up or going to go back and get caught up on some things, it's good to write that formula down just so you know what the heck you're going to be working with. Radius of the circle, or the sphere, is 5. So we're going to do 4 times pi times 5 to the third divided by 3. The other thing that is actually nice to do is, this is when I say show your work, I know what the heck you're doing, so you just don't have an answer so it looks like you copied off your neighbor. That's actually you doing something, okay? So show your work means show your work. So 5 to the third times 4 is 500, divided by 3 is 166.6 repeating pi. If you multiply all that out, we get a grand total of 523.6. And if we're talking volume, we're going to do millimeters to the third power. Okay, you go on over here. Volume, it's asking for volume of the sphere. Volume is 4 times pi times the radius to the third power, all over 3. They give us 16, but that is the entire distance, so we're going to take 16 divided by 2 and we're going to get 8. So now we're going to take and substitute 8 in for r, and then divide it by 3. 8 to the third is 512 times 4, 2048, divided by 3 is 682.6 repeating, what were we, centimeters cubed, oh, pi centimeters cubed. And then if you multiply that by pi, you can get 244.7 cubic centimeters. So here's the deal. You're going to end up with 0.6 repeating a lot, and you're going to end up with 0.3 repeating a lot because you're dividing by 3. So your answer should look like that, or they'd be whole numbers, right? And then multiply it by pi. Done and done, all right? Volume of a hemisphere, so that's half, right? So it's still saying volume, so we're going to do 4 times pi times radius cubed over 3, and then at the end we're going to find our answer, and then we're going to cut in half. Okay, radius is 2, so 4 times pi times 2 to the third. 2 to the third is 8. Times 4 is 32. Divided by 3 is 10.7 pi. And then we're going to multiply that out and get 33. So the total volume would be 33.5 cubic feet, but then we are cutting it in half because it's saying hemisphere. So we're going to divide that by 2. It's going to be 16.7. And if you can hear my daughter talking in the background, she's counting because I told her I'm in a room for 5 minutes while I make this video, so I got to speed it up. All right, so it's saying find the radius if they give you the volume. This is just for me to show you guys 4/3 pi r cubed. We want to find the radius, so we know 776 pi is equal to 4 times pi times the radius to the third all over 3. Okay, so we have to solve by undoing. We're going to multiply by 3. All right, and that gives us 23,328 pi equal to 4 times pi times the radius cubed. Since there's a pi on both sides, we divide by the pi. That's gone. Divide both sides by 4. Whoops. It's going to be r cubed. 23,328 divided by 4 is 5,832. Now, this, like when we did Pythagorean theorem, if that was square, we would take square root. So now we're going to do a thing we call taking the cubed root. Okay? Easiest way to do that is in your calculator, have your exponent be 1/3. All right, so I just wanted to show you, hey, let's work backwards. Let's look at something to the third power. 5,832 raised to the 1/3 power gives us 18. The radius is 18. Okay, so that was just a special little problem there. And let's roll down to surface area. All right, scroll back up. Surface area is 4 times pi times the radius squared is our formula. So again, having that stuff handy next to you as you're working is important. Don't say, I don't know how to do this, when you haven't watched the videos, taken notes, written anything down. That's the formula we're using. Can't screw it up. Well, you can, but it's very hard to, right? So take the radius, plug it in. 4 times pi times 7 squared. 7 squared is 49 times 4, 196 pi inches. Now we're in surface area, talking about area, so it's going to be squared units now. 196 times pi is 615.7 or 7.5 if you want, doesn't matter, or round it to 0.8. Last but not least, again, don't fall for the trap. 4 times pi times the radius squared. Radius is 10 because we have to take and divide that by 2 to get 10. So 4 times pi times 10 squared. 10 squared is 100 times 4 is 400. So this is 400 pi meters squared. Multiply that out and you get a grand total of 12,056.64 or 6, and then we're talking meters squared. Okay, so again, very important for you to actually write down the formulas and have them handy as you're doing this work. Okay, have a great day, have a good week. Rock on, Geo, rock on.